Hey guys, how's it going? So, we have a special update. Here is the Halloween update coming tomorrow night. And there is a lot here, so we're going to try to cover it as soon as possible and get through things pretty quickly. I don't know if you saw something there, but something's definitely I'm going to try to put that in the middle of the thumbnail because that's pretty hype. Maybe not my favorite thing in this. Well, actually, I think it is, but it's definitely a tie between two things. But let's go ahead and get started in here because there's a lot to cover. And this way we can go ahead and cover a lot of this now. And then anything that I need to talk about tomorrow night, I can do it tomorrow night. And then we'll go ahead and do that. And that way it's a shorter video. And we get, again, with that, this is special video stuff. What I usually do. Anyway, moving into it. Let's get into it. Nero Trainer. Let's go. So I already watched the video here. Oops, I might have had a phone call, so I had to take that. So re-recording this part wasn't too far in, so I figured I'd just restart. So we got a raid 450. I thought from these, like these could be cannons or missile launchers or something. Maybe these open up. I have no clue what the Nero Trainer is. The thing is, though, that trainer name does make sense for it being a raid. They actually say the trainer is not meaning that it's for training, but normally the trainer is like the it is a high capability mobile suit that has been trained in combat as a simulated enemy mobile suit with highly skilled pilots. So here we go. So it has a heavy attack and it does have the quick turn, which is going to be really cool at a 450 cost for a raid. That's pretty hype. Now the question is, what kind of damage are we looking at for its double beam sabers? And yes, it does have the double beam sabers. That looks like it charges. It's gonna be a little awkward. You're gonna want to open up with a full charge to get that. You do have the, I'm assuming, club, which normally sucks, but you can use the club, I guess, to get that stun. And it does have a heavy attack. Now, is that heavy attack also going to be a swing like that? How is it going to swing for its heavy attack is going to be the big question with two swords. Because a heavy attack that uses two swords, I don't think we have something like that yet. Unless I'm missing one. But, yeah, I don't think so. And that could be really gross with the amount of damage that heavy attacks do, and the amount that they can just ignore things like shields. We might be looking at a powerhouse here. Now, with that said, though, are they going to cut back on its main damage for it? Normally, and that's going to be the question, can it finish its plate in a full charge to a downswing, or whatever kind of combo you end up doing on, say, a support, general, or raid? Mainly, it does need to be able to finish a support at that cost, because pretty much everything at that point can just destroy whatever they're on at this point in pretty much one combo. I think, honestly, the only suit that I play as support that can survive things might be the heavy Gundam right now, because it has so much melee defense, or even the Gun Cannon 2, but I don't really play that as much, honestly. But yeah. Moving on, though, we have a, well, real quick, I will say that's going to be the thing. Can it do the damage with its double beam sabers? Otherwise, it doesn't have too many weapons, and that could be the thing that kills this. Or they at least need to give it double dodge roll with that quick turn like they did with the Vertex. That might help it a bit, but again, typically things that hit and move around really need that extra just damage. Well, they just really need, for raids, they need that damage anyway to just get by. So even though you can run around and dodge and stuff, normally the more defensive raids, especially the ones that aren't like tanky, getting in there and taking hits, they don't really have too much of a spot when it comes to raids at this point. Anyway, moving on to the enhancement shop. So it is getting an enhancement. What they're going to do, though, is now you get a, instead of just 14 tickets, you can put in plus 14 there. And I'm assuming you can keep going as many tickets as you've got till you can cap out a enhancement. If not, then just times 2 is cool, I guess. But hopefully you can just keep going and going. I didn't really look at this here. Increase the enhancement value obtained at one time by adding more tickets. The number of tickets used when, okay, yeah, it doesn't actually say. I'm assuming it can keep going. But the thing is here, here's my question, and I'm thinking this is how it works. I will test it tomorrow night. But will it be a, you know, you do 2, 3, 4 times, and then when it gets done, it's just, you know, you got a success on that roll because it, you know, it'll zero out, then you go in, boom, you got a success. So then it's 1 success times 4. Well, the cool part is say you did 10, right? Then you get 1 success times 10, which that kind of sucks. Or say that was your time to get that howling success, then you just got a howling success times 10. Like, a howling success times 10 is crazy. Like, that is, wow, you know. So, that's the cool part. So you kind of got a gotcha system in the enhancement shop now, essentially, by spending your tickets. You know, it's a bit more gambit than it was. Now, it might be better, though, and we'll have to just wait and see what people kind of do and see if we can get some kind of numbers out of this. We'll see which one's better, to just still do the one at a time or to do multiples if that's how it works. We'll have to see, and if they do have a system to where it's set up where you do 10 and then it's just like, you know, 100, 200, you know, success, great success, 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 great success, howling, success, success, you know, that kind of thing. Or if it's, you know, just one roll and you get times whatever. And that's kind of what it's looking like to me, is that it's going to be one roll, you get what you get. Again, could be good, because the chances of you getting multiple howling success in one go, not very likely. So now your one howling success will be a huge payoff if it happens. This also means you definitely, before doing this, want to play a suit to get that bonus to getting a great success, even at a higher rate. Anyway, moving on though to probably the best thing about this for most people, and for me there's only one other thing that could compete with this, and it's the mission suit down below. We'll get to that in a second. But here we go. We have the double Zeta being able to transform, and I gotta gush about it a lot here, and I'm gonna try to keep this as quick as possible because we'll definitely be testing it and playing it a lot tomorrow night and figuring out, is it good? But the main things, here's the main things they're doing that I'll kind of throw my 2 cents. They're going to rebalance it, right? They took feedback, we're going to be able to transform, and they're going to rebalance it a bit. Because it does say here, we'll be also making other minor adjustments. Now, how minor is minor, we'll have to find out. The thing is, though, yeah, for those of you who have been using the double Zeta in its current form, we apologize for the change in feel. The question is, how much of a change are they going to do that if they say a change in feel? Because if it's currently the same thing and then you just transform and then you can fly and shoot, that's like not really much of a change in feel. That's like, here's a bonus. Now, what are they going to nerf if they do a, you know, nerf to it, and then what are they going to buff? So, 2 things I would like to see. I think, honestly, with how big it is, its health and stuff is fine. They don't really need to touch anything. If anything, they should bring more stuff up. Give it this transformation mode, which also increases the damage. I think the damage on everything else is, again, fine. Hopefully everything here, like the cannons down here, beam cannon, beam rifle, and the cannons do good damage, and that they're their own weapons compared to the normal versions. I'm assuming the cannon is for sure, but hopefully the beam rifle is too. Then it has the missiles that it can shoot here, which I also hope is their own weapon, so that you can combo. The other thing, high mega cannon, I'm assuming is going to stay, because why wouldn't it? And because it's, you know, it's, I can't stand when they put a gimmick on a suit and they expect that to be part of your main damage. It's cool when you get one off, but, you know, this is going to make the suit way more consistent. Now, the main thing, what I want to see is the transformation mode have damage control. If you're going to be in something this big flying, you're going to get shot out real quick if you don't at least have damage control too. I'm pretty sure that's what the EXS has, and hopefully that's what we see. Then we have on the ground. If it's going to have damage control in the sky, that means it's probably going to get it on the ground. I don't think there's an example where we have one that has it in the sky and not on the ground. So I'm guessing that's what we're going to see here. It'll probably get the transform skill where it doesn't get knocked out of the air until it hits the ground. You know, you can't get stunned until you get on the ground, which will be cool. Hopefully it gets that. That's the bare minimal I want to see. Even if it doesn't get damage control on the ground, I think it needs it in the sky. Now, on the ground, if it just gets damage control, they need to up the movement speed by a bit so you can still get around a bit more and kind of have a little bit more dodge. This is a huge suit, and it is pretty easy to stun, and with no stun resistance capable anything on it, you just kind of just get stunned. That's it. I mean, it just kind of sucks in that regard. You just get wrecked. So hopefully they give it at least the damage control so that it has that, and yeah, or they could keep it kind of slow and just give it, you know, shock dampener and keep it slow still. If it has shock dampener and is slow, I mean, I don't think that would be the worst thing. There's a lot that has a lot of decent stagger buildup, but that would give counterplay to picking certain suits. I think that would be completely fine, especially if it can transform. Now, again, the transform mode, I would say pretty much has to have shock dampener, because you're a huge target. You're going to be so easy to hit in the sky, and this thing's probably not going to be that fast. Hopefully, you have a lot of thrust to get around with, at the very least. That's the other thing. A lot of thrust to get around with in the air. Please let this thing fly as much as the EXS can, please. Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. I'm definitely going to be playing this a lot and trying it out for the actual update video, so I should be able to talk on this once it's went in, and yeah, we'll definitely be able to gush about it or cry about it, whatever it seems to happen. But I think, personally, I think the double Zeta might end up OP. If they overdo it, which they could in this case, because when it came out, it was trash. And they kept buffing it and buffing it and buffing it. And I think it's gotten maybe 4 or 5 buffs. And now it's getting this, which, over what it already is a buff. So, yeah, like, it's the first suit that they've really reworked, which is a cool precedent for them to set, honestly. Because that means we might get some cool reworks coming for other suits. Just saying. But anyway, first suit they've reworked. We'll see what happens. And I think this could be OP. I'm just going to call it. I'm going to say my guess is the double Zeta is going to be OP, top tier. Let's go. But we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, there's the double Zeta though. Really hype. Now, I actually missed this when I first looked through it, but I'm reading it now because of this. But they're banning several accounts as harassment behavior. Normally they put something in. They normally just don't really. Yeah. Anyway, although we have seen a tendency to weasel out of such response like a cat and mouse game with management team and other titles, we will proceed in this manner in order to achieve an environment. Okay, what is it saying? Although the number of players causing trouble has been decreasing, we have decided that as we have to improve the situation with this frequency, so we will basically be doing this every month from now on until the number of accounts causing trouble and disturbance settles down. We will also be tightening the conditions under which warnings and suspensions will be issued. I kind of, depending on what it is, I don't like that, because there's a lot of people that are DCing from games. Yeah, so hopefully what this is players who have found to have been repeatedly causing trouble and disturbances despite receiving warnings from the administration will be permanently suspended from the game. So they're permabanning every month now. Okay. But as far as the like tightening conditions for the warnings and suspensions, please just, as far as the if you get kicked by meleeing your teammates or whatever, cool, fair enough. But DCs need to be taken out and just give a full point loss. Give a full point loss, guys. Please, just give a full point loss. That's all we need. Because there's so many people I know, even other streamers now, that have gotten banned. And yeah, here in a bit, I've been like messaging in support and everything else. I'm gonna try to get some more posts if we can, especially the tweets at them, if we can get some traction on those. I might even try to make a video about this, and we can get everybody rally together to at them with this. Even if you have to make your own tweet, because this is kind of getting ridiculous for some people, where they've been, they disconnected once because of their internet connection. Yes, now there is situations where your internet sucks, fair enough, but where it's like, you don't know if your internet's bad the next day, and you first log in and you play one game and then you get kicked again, and you just had a penalty 1 because of the previous day. Well, now you got a penalty 2, and now you can't play for a week, and then that means a week later you finally log back in, and maybe this is your only PlayStation game you play that's online, and maybe it's your PlayStation, you don't really have time to figure that out, but you get in and you start playing, everything's working normal, boom, right before the end of the game, you get kicked, you're banned for another week. I mean, you know, I'm like, if you know your internet connection's bad, then be careful. But in this case, if your internet connection's bad, you just can't play. So, I don't know, I feel like if you just lost all of your elo and ended up back in D-, that's a better, you know, way than just not being able to play at all. Which, yeah. So, for the people disconnecting, please get rid of that. Please implement a thing where you just lose more points, and then if people are reporting you for leaving and it's clear that you're leaving near the end of the game and it looks like you're actually doing it on purpose because you still think you're saving your score, because apparently people have no clue that you can actually lose points when you leave the game. But anyway, then they can start issuing penalties and banning people that way. Since you have a report system, use that to give penalties to people. So hopefully they move to that, especially with the DCs, because it is kind of getting ridiculous. The more that they've tightened up, the more now we're seeing people hit penalty 2, and yes, it has gotten to the point that it is a little ridiculous. Anyway, moving in, it's Halloween. Here we go. So we're gonna have Halloween stuff. There's gonna be a hunt for, I guess, times 18, where you gotta take a picture of the wanted noisy fairy posters. So here we go. We can go ahead and do that. I'll try to have a video up as soon as possible with all their locations, as always. Then we got a cosmetic here for that. We're getting the Gigan Space, yes! Gigan Giga Punch, let's go! For real though, it still has to have that downswing. Let's go with the punch. It just looks like it's a Gigan that is probably more mobile in space. I don't know, like what is, like, I'm really curious. Is the space only support 50 cost higher, as I was assuming? I figure this is just a kind of like the what they did with the GM cannon, only with the Gigan, which, yeah, pretty cool. If this is as good as like the GM cannon got an upgrade, I don't know what else they would give it for weapons, other than it just shoots more or something. I don't know what that is under it there, under the Gatling, but ABG, always be Gatling, intensify that barrage, that's all you need to know. Oh, like the Draw C, it is one example of the low-cost introductions of an old mobile suit into the force with specialized modifications. Follow the main mobile suit. Okay. Arm Gatling has been replaced with a more powerful one. Let's go, dude. Okay, so if it's just a better Gatling and maybe a better cannon, and you can fly around faster, I'm in. Give me more boosters, because it says 2 large booster propellants have been installed. Mobility is much higher than it looks. If we got a fast Gigan, let's go, dude. That's going to be insane if we can actually boost around a lot as a Gigan. Yes, please. My body is ready to play Space 250. Definitely want to try that out. We'll have something to gush about, hopefully, with that. Anyway, I kind of... oh, yeah, never mind. I was like, wait a minute. How did I do that? But yeah, we already talked about that. We'll have that up. And then the code Fairy campaign here, where you get... the first link campaign here, exploring the base, camp training, deploy 10 times in with basic game rules, acquire 20 mobile suits, deploy 5 times in an ace match, reach C- ground rating, acquire gold premium medal, and you can do that for free. That is possible to do on a free player basis, and check rewards. And Code Fairy missions with... Oh, options button. I was like, with what? What is that? But that's the options button. Okay, cool. So we'll have to check that out and see what we can get there, so you can get... Yeah, something. Maybe it's for the game. And Code Fairy and link up, you get special rewards. I don't know, is this going to hit on the... Oh, okay, right here. As a review of... Oh. In 19, yeah. Select Code Fairy and achieve certain conditions to get a mobile suit in GBO2, and new missions open up in Code Fairy when you play GBO2. Okay, so cool. So this, I guess, will be a thing that'll track on your system, and you're good to go. And the start date is 11/4, 2021. So there we go. Oh, okay, so that answers the question I was looking for. When's the start date? Literally right there on the picture. But yeah, pretty cool. Finally, we have released some details of Cold Fairy, and a little bit heavy on that part. Oh, okay, sorry. They've not really released much, is what they're saying. We, the developing team, will keep putting effort into GBO2, such as new mobile suits and new features, or I don't know which one that is. And we hope you will enjoy the content. So they're saying they're either doing too much or not enough, and they're still working on both, or something like that. Either way, the update will be, okay, normal update time. Really cool. Can't wait. Mini online, participated. Oh, thanks to everyone who participated in the online match. Yeah, that was the little tournament thing they did online. Can we get one for the NA too, please? That would be cool. Just saying. Or like something like that. But Oda, development team, Oda, yeah. Okay, cool. So, pretty hype. Really cool stuff. Let me know in the comments what you think about all of this. That was a little bit longer than expected. Tried to go through it as fast as possible. Got caught up on the double Zeta, and actually more caught up than I thought on the thing, but I'm feeling really strongly, especially after I'm hearing some people, and now we're getting a lot more videos, and especially some fellow streamers that are getting hit. You know, it's, yeah, like, it's one of those things, man, and this is while they're streaming too, so it's like everything else is completely fine. But yeah, so it's a little bit PSN network, a little bit their net code, a little bit, you know, it's all over the place, but that's why they need to just get rid of it. Anyway, sorry I won't get on that rant again. But yeah, let me know everything that you think in the comments about below, all this stuff and things, blah, blah, blah stuff. I don't even know what I just said there with the comment thing, but leave a comment. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Usual stuff in the description, Twitch, Twitter, Discord, stuff like that, guys. But anyway, that'll be it for this one. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Peace!